I'm Lisa Redfern, and this is Gingersnap, a conversation and a cookie with a creative Mainer. This is episode 83. My creative Mainer today is Bobby Breen, who's a Brunswick, Maine-based poet. He's won a lot of awards. You may have heard of him. He's the Fire Poet.
Yes, I guess so. Yeah. He's the Fire Poet.
You
a good
were
friend of mine. Yes.
Go ahead.
No, go.
I was going to say you were a firefighter for years.
I was,
then,
yeah.
Yes.
20 years, yeah. Over 20 years in Boston, yeah. And a good friend of mine who wound up winning the Nobel Prize for Literature called me the Fire Poet.
That's
when
right.
I studied underneath the guidance of his department in college.
Mm-hmm.
And
we discovered this when we were at
we were swimming at the pond
at Sewell Pond.
Sewell Pond. We were swimming together, and
with my cousins, and
was
you
from
were
Boston,
there with a friend, right?
Yeah.
No,
I was by myself. I think
I think you were. Yeah, we started talking about Irish poetry, and we started talking about Ireland actually.
Yes.
And then Seamus Heaney came up.
Yeah.
And then we started talking about, and then I discovered that Bobby is a published poet, an award-winning published poet, and I said I'm going to have to gingersnap you. So here we are.
And my work will be appearing in Steve Luttrell, the great poet from Portland, in the Cafe Review. Yeah, the Cafe Review in the spring issue. And I'll have a new book coming out in June.
Lovely.
Yeah, the collections are The Wild, Atlantic, and Pacific Wave. A collection of works.
That's great.
Of my poems over the past 20 years. So
that's wonderful. And there's an event coming up that you should tell everybody about.
Yes, yeah.
In Brunswick.
Yeah, there'll be an event April 23rd at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock? 6 o'clock.
6:30.
6:30, I'm sorry. The stage crew offside helping us out here, helping me out, because I'm following everything up. But anyway.
And there will be Irish poetry read.
Yes, and there'll be musicians. Lisa's going to play.
I'll come sing a couple Irish songs.
Yeah, and everyone's invited.
Where is it, Bobby?
Oh, it's at the pub in Brunswick. Byrnes's Pub.
Oh, Byrnes Irish Pub.
Right next to the train station.
Right, over there near...
City Hall, Town Hall.
Steel Magnolias? Is that... No, that's a movie.
Steel Begonias? Oh, I don't know.
Starlit
Begonia, yeah. That's great. I love it. I love more mistakes the better.
This is the outtake one, but we're just going to go ahead and use it.
Yeah.
So I would love it if you would read something of your poetry.
Oh, okay.
A little piece of your poetry.
What would be a good poem?
Anything
something that's not heavy, because I'm a political poet and I write a great deal about a lot of tragic things. So let me just see if I can find something light here. Oh my goodness, I don't know, because I'm trying to. Oh, I know one that's published in the cafe, the review this month.
Perfect.
And it's a light poem, and it's about couples, and
perfect for spring.
And it's all about I'm waiting for my friend to come home this spring, and he resides here, or she resides here in out in the woods here behind my house. The Barred Owl. I wait patiently, then here like Athena, you appear in the mist of sorts. I cannot see you in the cover of night. You announce your presence with a veil of majesty. Who cooks for you? Our neighborhood rejoices in you. Sky harvest moon passes by. A screech outside our bedroom resembles an epic fight that fills the autumn air, that resonates on every leaf. Who cooks for you? That this battle raged between us to what seems an eternity. I wrap my wings around you. Wounded tears fill fluval eyes. I wipe the wet dew from your thigh and say I'm sorry. You should never hurt the one who cooks for you. An impartial God never gives an apology for harm. I, a mortal, realize. Winter's light glides through grass stalks encased in glass ice fields with birch trees peeling rose-white bark. In spring I will coax you once more to ride the waves you love as I long for the one who cooks for you. The Barred Owl.
That's beautiful. That really puts you in a state of mind and in a place, in a specific place.
And it's Maine. It's very Maine, and the owl visits us here in the neighborhood, and we all chat about the owl. And one night I heard them screeching out back, and I says, "Oh my goodness, they fight just like us, you know." And so I call her Athena, you know, after the god of wisdom, you know, Athena the owl.
Yeah.
So, that Steve published this in the Cafe Review this month. So if anyone sees a copy around the library, or if you donate it to the arts, you know, buy a little book.
Yeah.
It's good. So.
That's great. So you obviously were raised around Boston.
I was raised downtown Boston, and it's funny. I never thought that I would even, but my great-grandfather was involved in the paper mills up north back in the 20s. And
so you've got Maine in your history.
And then my grandfather died very young. He was only 40. My dad was a teenager when he passed away. And then my dad bought a couple of homes up here, over in Pequawket Lake in the Sebago Lake region. So I was basically raised here every summer. We were summer people.
Yeah.
And I think you asked me, the first time I ever came to Maine, I went to Dim-Scotta Mills when I was around 8 years of age.
That must have made an impression. It's such a pretty little
area. It was. It really, because I was so young. And they took me up there, friends of my parents, the Larocques. They're French people. And, of course, a great French influence up there in Dim-Scotta. And it was just, I remember looking out off the cliff that was somewhere. You must have been on the Johns River, St. John's River, yeah. And I was so young and very impressionable. And first time I saw raccoons and wildlife, and you know, coming from the city, we didn't see many raccoons.
So, Bobby, do you know your first word, or if you don't, what do you think it might have been?
Mama.
Mama.
I don't know. No, I don't know my first word. No.
Yeah. Well, I found in my baby book that my first word was cookie, so we're going to have cookies. And
here we go.
Bobby's wife Karen made cookies.
Oatmeal raisin, my favorite.
Oatmeal raisin.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have a bite.
Yeah, please.
Oh, really yummy.
Good. I just had one. Okay. I don't need any more. Look at me. I'm over the top.
I'm eating cookies alone.
Yeah.
Okay, while I'm chewing. Did you have a car when you were a young boy or in your adolescence that was
when
really
I was
cool?
My first car was a Chevy, but my all-time favorite car was a Caprice Super Sport.
I cannot picture that.
Bought it when I was 18. They had an Impala Super Sport, which was a beautiful car, but Caprice, which was the car above the Impala, it was a beautiful car. Caprice Super Sport, an SS. Caprice SS. It was beautiful. That was my fave.
Would you get that back if you could now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a classic. Oh, it would be just a classic on the road. But I'm sure it's been moved on.
Yeah. So are there a couple of books in your life that have been really important to you? And when people say, Bobby, what should I read? Either an old book or a newer book that you've read recently that you recommend to people?
There's been so many.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness! One book.
Pick a couple. Yeah.
One book. I think it would be if I was talking to a young person. I think it would be Rousseau's Candies, by Rousseau, the philosopher, and the French philosopher. You know, he wrote about about when they walk into the village in Shangri-La and they find all the money and everything and all the jewels and that, and it's worthless. And they try to bring them out of Shangri-La. It's such a great book. But one book that I keep returning to a great deal in my writing, and that there's two, but the great poet Dante, when he wrote the Divine Comedy, you know, it's about politics, and it just the classics. I'm reading it again because I'm writing. I'm trying to get ready for my new book, and I always go back to the classics, the Odyssey and Dante and things. That's where I've spent the last few years, in the classics.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah.
So is there, onto music, is there a song or an album that's been sort of a touchstone for you that you've come back to again and again in your life?
Yes. Yeah, there is. Do you want me to play it for you? Can I
Sure.
put it on?
Sure.
Alexa,
Oh, you have Alexa?
play Carolina by the Beach Boys.
Can I give that
Yes.
to you to put back?
No 1996 digital remaster.
This was my favorite song. I keep coming back to it. Alexa, level 6.
I feel like I'm in a Jetsons episode.
This is just like we're on a movie set, huh? I used to know. How would you lose happy
Did you listen to this over and over?
Carolina? We gotta sing it. This was a song I was a boy in 1969, at the top of the game. I was a lifeguard in high school, and this was my favorite song. It was a backside, a flip side. I just fell in love with this song, Carolina, and such a great song, wasn't it? We stopped playing the song, you know. I guess we got to gab some more.
This is good. I like having a.
Don't you love that song? When it goes away, I get very sad. I love that song when it's playing, but it goes away, you know. But what else do we need to chat away?
Well, I was going to ask you that if a movie was made about your life, what genre would it be, and who would star as you? At any age, it can be young Bobby.
Oh, I hope it's my teenage years. Okay. Yeah.
With this song playing the whole time.
Maybe. Yeah, with Carolina playing, me coming up over the hill off the beach. Yeah. Great.
You can choose any time. It's your movie.
Yeah. Well, I guess back in my 20s or so. Don't we all wish we were 20? Yeah. It was a great time in my life, and.
What genre would it be? Would it be a romantic comedy? Would it be a drama? Would it be sci-fi? Would it be?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe something like Hal, huh? That's his 50th anniversary of sci-fi. Right. Yeah, I just wrote a poem about Hal 9000. It's like a sci-fi thing for warning for the next generation. Yeah, I think it's a great poem. Yeah, Hal 9000, the voice of Hal. Yeah, and it's a warning about AI to our children.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so who would star as you as a teenager?
Oh, as a teenager?
Or who would you like to have star as you as a teenager?
I don't know. Mel Gibson? I don't know.
Who do you think he should star as him as a teenager?
As a teenager? Oh, there's my picture, my high school picture when I was 19.
Let's go with Paul Newman.
Go with Paul Newman? Yeah, they say. Oh, honest to God, people used to say I look like a Kennedy or a Paul Newman. They always used to say that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good combination. So if someone would like to, I'm going to have you read something else.
Okay.
Unless, I think Karen has something she wants you to read.
Okay.
Read something else, and then I want you to tell people, or you can do it now, tell people how to get a hold of you if they'd like one of your books, or to have you come read, or come speak. Maybe they want you to come,
and if you're a teacher or someone from school, my credentials are not impeccable, but they're wonderful credentials. So I could come to the school and read. And I used to read to all the engineering students at the University of Lowell. They wanted me to come and read poets in my own work because the engineering students didn't get much poetry. And they wanted me, because I had a mathematical background. So, yeah, they can go on my website, firepoet.com, and everything is on that website. Okay, I guess you don't have to use the wwws, but
I think everybody
knows that. So it's firepoet.com because my friend won the Nobel Prize, and I had just a wonderful experience in college when I was studying that. I got to meet some Nobel laureates that won for literature. And in their presence and chatted with him. And then I became very friendly, and he was a mentor to me for 20 years, teaching me how to write poetry. And you can find all that on the webpage, so we won't. So that's firepoet.com.
All right, cool. So let's read one more. And
you might. I don't.
Well,
I just brought this.
You know, we just talked about Hal, and this is the 50th, and for the sci-fi, you know, it's so important because it's all coming true. When we grew up as kids, if you know, what the heck was it called? Star Trek or Star Wars? That was like far out stuff, and now it's all true. I mean, it's all. And this is the voice of Hal. If anyone doesn't know this, it's 2001: Space Odyssey. And there's
which sounded so far away. Right?
Yeah, which is, you know, and we were like 2001. Imagine, I grew up in the 60s and 70s, so that was like 2001. And would this come through? Would AI become artificial intelligence? So this is the voice of HAL 9000, and 9000 is the computer model that he was called.
Right.
And the movie's a great movie, so the voice of HAL 9000. The chloroform tablets were a delight of children 3,500 years ago. Faded tan paper held my Palmer method, never allowed to lift pen from script. Long division was worked out on paper sheets, a man placed on the moon with a slide rule. Catechism foregone, Greek and Latin deities filled school years with sense of place. We are on track now with a fractal voice, mastering human language. This we know, that our blood-filled legs will service its cold-filled wires in this upright tin man. I stare up to the evening skies, wonder, will my grandchildren look inward to true north? Their cardinal compass, guiding their future odyssey with forlorn glory of gods. Imagine an old warrior poet, that ancient monk held up in a beehive stone hut, holding on to what I pray to in times of overwhelming odds and fires. Wars of men among the stars will still hold hatred. Sorry deceivers wanting more. And how will you answer it when it is said, open the pod door, Hal? I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I cannot do that. Will you shut it down, knowing you will have to quiet a voice that knows no bounds? Then navigate your ship. Set sail with fixed sun fans, catching free winds to search for newfound truths.
Wow.
I know it's a little. It's for the college kids, for the older guys. But it's just, will we be faced? And they say the dilemma is going to be. It won't be in my lifetime, but the dilemma will come when we'll be faced with the choices of how far artificial intelligence will reach, and will we be able to live with it or without it? Will we be able to live without the Tin Man for real? Will we shut him down? Will we have to close the voice that knows no bounds? I mean, it's a machine that can, they're talking amongst themselves in these machines, and they're just so bright. And will we have to guide our own ship? So I left the question for the next generation. You know, will you close Hal's voice and go on our own? We don't.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little Stephen, what's his name in Maine, the big writer, Stephen King?
Stephen King?
Stephen King. That would be something like Stephen King would enjoy, wouldn't he? Yeah.
Stephen Hawking.
Oh, Stephen Hawking.
Right,
Oh, well, he's the one that spoke a great deal about this. He was an inspiration to me, as is all of the writers, and Stephen,
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Bobby. You've been ginger-snapped. How do you feel?
Ginger-snapped. I feel snapped. Thank you. Yeah. It's a
verb now.
It's a verb now. Yeah. I've been ginger-snapped. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So if you want to reach Bobby, You can go to firepoet.com, and you can come to, if you want to see him in person. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is.
Oh, we had a blackout. Hal said, shut
I'm
down.
Here. Ooh. You can go on April 23rd at 6:30. There's going to be poetry and music.
And music
at Byrnes Irish Pub.
Irish Pub and Guinness. There'll be a pint of Guinness for us.
Good. It's
pint
good
of
for
Guinness
you.
for us all.
It's good for you.
Bye.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm Lisa Redfern. If you want to hear more about me or my music or where I'm singing and playing, you can go to lisaredfern.com. And this has been episode 23, Gingersnap, Conversation and a Cookie with a Creative Mainer. Did I say 23?
23.
83.
83.
See, you put me in like an
We
AI time warp.
We went time warp. We went all the way back.
83.
Always back.
Episode 83.
We felt young again. Can we go off with the song? Alexa, play Carolina. We're going to go off with the song.
Okay. This has been Gingersnap.